Oh, man, what a brutal day today. We had to play that because it was so brutal today. Even though we had a good amount of sunshine, even some blue skies, there was no way I was going to be going out there because take a look at what we have now. Obviously, we can't view the post on Twitter because Twitter, the people who run it want you to have an account there to read it. But we do have captured here. So let's go here and we'll show you here. It says right here, 5 of our 6 climate sites broke records today. That's right. We hit 80 degrees today. All right. Newark got up to 81. Kennedy got up to 80. LaGuardia got up to 78. Bridgeport got up to 79. And Islip got up to 80. And the Bridgeport and Islip temperatures are a monthly record. So this is the warmest it's been at Islip and Bridgeport since they started taking records in the month of November. So, yeah, that's how brutal it was today. Unbelievable how warm it is. And let's take a look at what we got out there. It's still warm out there. It's still warm. And I came up into my place and opened that door, and it was felt like a sauna in here. It's cooling off out there now. But, man, it really is. That's why I had to play that, because it truly is hell here. And it was humid, too. There's a lot of humidity trapped in here. Again, there's no ventilation, and so... but anyway, I got the fans in the windows just trying to air it out all over the place here. It's unbelievable. Fortunately, the dew points have come way down. You can see 2 points. Air is now very dry, desert-like almost air here. Dew points generally on Long Island, it looks like dew points in the upper 20s and low 30s. Jersey, it's a little higher. Oddly enough, it's a little cooler there. 52 being reported at Lakehurst. Are they radiating already? Coilfield down to 50. But for us, we've got a pretty strong north wind. 61 at Islip. Dew point is 30. So I'll show you what the day was like at Islip today. Just incredible record-setting warmth across the area. None of it normal. So we were already above 70 as of 8 o'clock this morning, and it was humid too. And the humidity hung around right into the early part of the afternoon. Right into 1 o'clock, it was near around 80, and a little bit of humidity out there. Even though we had there was a lag in the cool air, we had west-northwest winds, and then the the dew points finally started dropping as we got toward the afternoon. So you could see here, there, lower dew points there in the afternoon there, but still very, very warm out, and still we were even after sunset, we were still around 70. And finally, was slowly dropping the night. Slowly, now we're down to 61. But I mean, just incredible. Record-setting warmth today. Warmest day ever in November. Incredible. So let's go to the highs. We'll look at the highs on here, and you'll see temperatures pretty much getting around that 80-degree mark pretty much everywhere with no sea breeze, except way out east on the Forks where you had mid-70s. But this is incredible warmth for November. Just unbelievable warmth that we're seeing. And the other big story that we have to talk about is Subtropical Storm Nicole. That's right. So let's go right now to the Hurricane Center. We have another area that they're watching here, but let's talk about, they're calling it Subtropical Storm Nicole, but this is forecast to become a hurricane. So Nicole is expected to strengthen Tuesday night and Wednesday. As of 7 p.m., its location is 26.7 north, 70.8 west. I mean, very unusual to talk about these kind of storms in November. It's about 425 miles east-northeast of the northwestern Bahamas. Maximum sustained winds, 45 miles an hour. Moving northwest at 8 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure, 998 millibars. 29.47 inches. As of 7 p.m., so it's, again, this is where it's located. And maximum sustained winds are near 45 miles an hour. And there's an outward extend of up to 310 miles. For 40 miles an hour, 40 mile an hour winds. So let's go take a look at the chart here, and you'll see here that they already have hurricane warnings up for the Bahamas and hurricane watches up for Florida, as well as tropical storm watches for North Florida. Looks like it's going to head right for the Miami area. All right, so it could strengthen very rapidly and make a landfall sometime Wednesday night to Thursday morning, and then Thursday you'll see here that it goes across Florida. The only thing is, at least it is moving at a somewhat decent clip, and once it gets picked up, it will move fast. And then we're going to have to worry about what's left of its remnants on the weekend for Saturday. All right. So yeah, it's that bad. All right, it really is. It was really this could be a really bad situation. But you know, if you looked at Wall Street today, you'd have no idea that of anything. We can go to CNBC and you see here they just have, all right, that's the futures. But if we go here, look at that, they won big today. 423 points on the Dow. I mean, they're just completely in their own world. Wall Street. Well, this climate chaos is just getting worse and worse and worse. I hate to bring it up in the weather update, but it truly is. They're in their own little world. So this is incredible to see in November. I don't think I've ever seen a hurricane landfall in Florida in November. That is something that's very unusual. So if we go to our observations here, and we move this back to latest, and we'll move this over here, you will see that if we go down to Florida, you see those hurricane watches already posted for, it looks like, starting at Miami, just north of Miami, through Palm Beach County. And I have friends that live in this area, so I am definitely concerned about this storm having an impact on them. At least it will be after Election Day. But this is crazy, all right? See this. It's absolutely nuts. So let's go to the latest imagery. Let's see. All right, we finally have decent imagery this time. You can see it here. Doesn't look all that organized yet, but it will wind up getting organized pretty quickly. And if we go and we look at the models here, which is what we're going to do right now, we're going to look at the models here. First, the spaghetti models. And you can see, the good thing is they fairly pretty much agree on where this thing's going to make landfall, somewhere north of Miami, as far as the center goes. And after that, it kind of varies a little bit, but you see it's going to get flung up the coast, and we're going to have a lot of rain. This almost reminds me of a little bit of an Isaias scenario almost. I'm a little concerned about that. This is your intensity guidance, and you can see a number of them do take it up to hurricane strength. But some of them don't. So we'll have to see. But I caution, because we've seen this time and time again. Water temperatures are still warm in that area, and we can definitely see some intensification on that. So let's go to the models now, and we'll start off first showing you the surface here. So for the Kona's view, and you see there's Nicole right there. Here we are tonight, and you see that high pressure building in, cooler air comes in to the northeast. That protects us. Luckily, that's there. Otherwise, if we had a different setup, that could have come right up the coast. But what it will do, unfortunately, for Florida, you can see it moving over the Bahamas here. Here we are tomorrow. You can see it starting to gather strength, and then it probably becomes a hurricane sometime on Wednesday, I would think. And then it makes a landfall, right? It probably will be like a Category 1 hurricane. You can see it makes a landfall north of Miami. Here we are Thursday. Looking at our area, you'll see we still have the high pressure under control. But then you see it go up the coast of Florida, then emerge off the coast again out over the Gulf, where it could pick up more strength, hit the Panhandle. This is the GFS, and then wind up going up along the coast right here. And this would give us a big soaking rain for Saturday, and perhaps some wind too with it as well. And then behind it, then we start seeing some cold weather come in behind that storm. So, yeah, quite incredible. This is the GFS. So now we go and we look at the European model. And we'll show you the European model. I think they're in fairly fair agreements here on what's going to happen. They are in fairly close agreement on that. So we do have agreement on those two major global models. So let's go take a look at Florida right now, and we will go and we have the euro up, so we'll take a closer look at the European model. So you can see landfall is going to be that Wednesday night, Thursday morning. You can see right there. And let's see, European, let's see how it has it landfalling as far as wind goes. Doesn't have it that intense with wind. It doesn't really get it that intense. Just keeps it kind of on the weak side. And probably this would just be a tropical storm, and most of the stronger winds would be off to the north side. But don't let that fool you, because we'll still have a storm surge here, and that could cause some significant coastal flooding, as well as the flooding from the rainfall. If we look at total precipitation, total accumulated precip, you see that this is showing how much rainfall is falling. All right. Now let's go over to the GFS model. So this is the GFS model, all right, showing you the rainfall here for Florida. And you'll see here again that, again, go over 2 inches perhaps with this. Let's go look at the wind on the GFS, because I think the GFS was a little tighter. Yeah, GFS is a little bit tighter with this storm. Still doesn't have it a hurricane, though. So the models, most of the models don't want to have it become a hurricane. But I think that it will be. I think they're underestimating it. I really do. With that warm water there, I think we'll see a Category 1 hurricane out of this. All right, so generally similar idea to the European. Pretty much an agreement on that. And then it would wind up tracking up the East Coast. So if we go and we look at the eastern U.S. here and show you the rainfall, total accumulated precip here. You track this up, you see the rainfall there that it could try to soaking up the whole East Coast there, and that would be against Saturday. All right. As far as impacts on our area go, let's go take a look at our area right now, and we'll show you the impacts. So first, we'll start off with the short range. Look at the HRRR, and 0 is the HRRR. Good news is because we are the clocks are now back at standard time, we have all the models coming earlier at least. So HRRR, obviously, looking at our weather now, you will see north winds tonight, bringing in that really dry air. Tomorrow we'll have really dry air overhead with north winds. And look at that, dew points down into the teens. Northeast winds, then they become northeast to east on Wednesday. That increases the moisture a little bit for Wednesday. So it won't be quite as bone dry, but it'll still be plenty dry. The temperatures will be dropping as well. Probably not going to see radiational cooling tonight, but we should start off in the morning in the upper 40s. And then for tomorrow, we'll probably only make it to the mid-50s, though. Maybe parts of southern New Jersey could get up to 60. Tomorrow night, we're going to see that radiational cooling, and I think we get close to a lot of us getting to the 30s. Some areas of the Pine Barrens below freezing. And then for Wednesday, it should be a cool day with highs only in the low to mid-50s, again with that easterly flow. All right. Going to the GFS now. Take this along with the GFS now. At the GFS here, dry air stays in place. You see that. As into Thursday, you start seeing that west to southwest flow. That brings up the dew points, and it also brings up the temperatures a little more. Here we are with a very strong southerly flow on Saturday. That's going to bring the humidity and some really heavy tropical rain. And then it finally moves out with cold and dry air coming in back in on the backside of the storm by Sunday. Temperatures. All right, here we are, temperatures. So we'll see those temperatures start rising on Thursday, probably around 60 into the mid-60s, maybe even 70 in New Jersey. And here we are for Friday. Even though we'll have a lot of clouds spreading in over the head of the storm, we'll still make a run possibly at 70 degrees. And it'll stay very warm overnight into Saturday. You can see that warmth. So it'll be the beginning of that tropical air from the storm, mid-60s. So, that air conditioner will probably have to be used again. And then here we are Sunday, finally cooling off again and dropping significantly colder. We may only be in the 40s Sunday and Monday. So finally some more November-like weather coming after this storm. So we're going to look now at the winds that this storm could bring on the GFS here. We'll look at that first, I guess. This is the GFS here. You can see it keeps the worst of the winds offshore, but you can see offshore, look at that. To the right of the storm there, you could have some pretty strong winds. That would mainly be an issue offshore. Let's see with the European, that doesn't go far enough out. Okay, so now we go and we look at the skies across our area, starting with the GFS. Move this back to tonight. So we have some clear skies. You notice there was a few high clouds off to the west. We're going to have to watch this possibly tomorrow. Might have some high cloudiness around. And again, it's just because of the shallow nature of the air mass wind. We may have to deal with a little high cloudiness. This, of course, is the GFS. It might be a little overdone on this. And then for Wednesday, maybe a little less in the way of high clouds. And then for Thursday, one more clear day on Thursday. And then you see the cloud front from the storm starting to come in. Here we are Friday, Saturday, and then get rid of it on Sunday. All right. So let's go now look at the RGEM model, which is a higher resolution model. So here we go for the RGEM, and it's showing a little bit of that high cloudiness. He's starting off in the morning, and then it gets pushed to the south later on in the day. So probably by noon or something, it should be gone by like afternoon or so. And then for Wednesday, it's showing fairly clear skies. You can see a few clouds offshore that might try to make it into New Jersey, especially with that easterly wind, probably marine stratocumulus. And then for Thursday, still fairly clear skies. You can see that cirrus, though, from the storm starting to try to make its way into our area on Thursday. All right. We can look at one more model, the FV3, which is the higher resolution version of the GFS. Um, and you can see it shows that high clouds, but then it kind of, like I said, pushes it off to the south, and we should have a fairly sunny day tomorrow. So it should be nice, cooler. It's actually showing more in the way of high clouds perhaps early Wednesday, and then improving in the afternoon. So I guess that's going to wrap up this weather update. I know we do have a partial lunar eclipse sometime tonight. And, you know, it depends on those high clouds. It might come in, it might cause a veil over that. So I have to see what happens because, again, that lunar eclipse is going to be right around this time right here. We may have a little bit of those high clouds coming in. And again, this is just upper level moisture. If we go to the earthnullschool.net site, which, not earthnullschool.net, thewindy.com site, which we can also use to look at. Actually, I can use this to look at the effects of that storm as well. I want to do that too. And Nicole. Oh, look, we're up to Nicole already. All right, so let's go look at this. Is the European model, and you can see it's showing some of those high clouds over us here already. So if we go and we look at the humidity levels here, this is something that tells us if we go up to 250, you can see that there's a little moisture there. 300, you can see that there's a little moisture there. All right, and then going to 10, you'll see there's still some of that moisture, but then as we get toward the afternoon, it should start to lessen a little bit. All right, so maybe not be completely clear tomorrow. We'll have to see what happens. You know, hopefully it will be, but we'll have to see. Hopefully at least part of the day will be. Now let's go back to the wind, and we will go back to the surface here, and we will look at Nicole on this model here. So here we are Wednesday night to Thursday. This would be Nicole right here, and I'll put this to wind gusts so we get the strongest winds, and you see 61. So it's only going to be north of the storm. Really, this model just doesn't have it being intense. But still, it could be enough to cause some power outages and coastal flooding. All right, maybe not a full-fledged hurricane, but still something that will have to be watched. And we all know the model's going to underestimate these things, especially given the water temperatures and the way they've been. Here we are Saturday, and we're going to have to deal with some strong winds on Saturday. You can see it's got some wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. So we have to keep this possibility up. Remember what happened with Isaias. That really turned out to be pretty bad, even though it kind of went inland. Storm is sort of reminding me of it a little bit. So I think that's going to be it for this weather update. Have a good night. Thank you for watching.